you've got to do outgoings. Liverpool are always keen to balance the books. And this photo is doing the rounds on social media. It seems expected, doesn't it? Anytime now, anytime this second, we're expecting Ben Doak to Bournemouth to be announced, aren't we?
Yeah, it looks that way. £25 million fee.
Yeah.
Not sure about kind of further details, whether there's any sell-on involved or buyback or whatever. But yeah, it looks a good deal. That was kind of the amount that Liverpool had put on it prior to this summer. They had bids in January that they turned down that were around that figure. So yeah, they've done well to get that again. I think a really smart move for him. I think he'll do really well there, and there just isn't a place for him in this Liverpool squad at the moment. So. Yeah, a good sell for Liverpool, a good sell for the player, and I think a good buy for Bournemouth as well.
It seems startling that I always thought of Bournemouth, we'd almost struggle to do business with them again because of Jordan Brad Smith, the way, those sort of worked. But for Richard Hughes, and I don't know if it's a connection to the previous club, but Doak to be bought for 600 grand, I think it was, and to get 25, and I think he's got minimal, maybe even 10 minutes or something like that in the Premier League. That is great business by a sporting director, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the value of kind of picking up those talents who are kind of UK based, isn't it? It's something Liverpool have become a lot better at recently, really. I mean, Harvey Elliott's another one who's probably going to get flipped for kind of 50 million this summer, which, wasn't the aim with Harvey Elliott. And he's played a lot of games and won a lot of trophies at Liverpool. So it's a great signing on that basis. But also then, if you can kind of get, pure profit PSR boost as well from it, then it's, just a great move all around, really, isn't it? So, yeah, this is a really, really smart business to get him in. And I don't think he'll look back on his time at Liverpool with regret either, because it's given him the platform to go to a decent Premier League club. And again, he's so young that could be right back at the top again eventually soon as well. So, and if that buyback option is there, maybe even at Liverpool. So, just smart business all around, and not a bad move for the player either.
Yeah, not bad at all. And maybe it's just me. There's a little bit of sadness on this one because he's a popular figure as well. Kostas Tsimikas, he's not been in the squad. The only surprising contradiction in reports was Paul Joyce mentioned after the Community Shield that Forest obviously linked and Liverpool will only sanction permanent deals. But late last night, there's this tweet there from Fabrizio Romano saying Liverpool could also be open to potential initial loan proposals, which I thought doesn't really make too much sense. If he's third behind Kirkez and Robbo alone, I don't really see what's the benefit of that. We're expecting something this week, surely more towards a permanent side.
Yeah, but I guess, like I said about, you kind of can't control what other clubs do. If there's not a permanent offer there that makes sense to Liverpool, then you probably need to get him off the books anyway, because, 3 left backs doesn't go, does it? And having him stick around for the season probably doesn't make sense. So maybe Liverpool will reluctantly be forced into sanctioning a loan move late in the window, but I'm sure they would prefer a permanent. We'll just have to kind of see what plays out with that one. That's, not one that you can probably predict at this moment, but it's, I think the one thing you can confidently say is he probably won't be at Liverpool come the end of the window.
And I think probably after Friday, you mentioned him there, he didn't come on the pitch, which I thought was fascinating in a sense that a couple of years ago, Harvey Elliott used to be almost the super sub, didn't he? Break glass in case of emergency. Liverpool went 2-2. And he wasn't even really warming up, as I saw at one stage. I mean, we're all just waiting now, surely, this week, whether it's Red Bull, Spurs, whoever, someone to come in for Harvey Elliott, aren't we?
Yeah, I'd be really surprised if your window ends and he's still at Liverpool, to be honest, because, I mean, that's a perfect situation. You would bring him on in, but obviously he's just not thinking of doing that because he knows he's not going to have him for the rest of the season or possibly again, really. So, yeah, I think the Xavi Simons to Chelsea thing feels key with the RB Leipzig link. But, if that gets done, then that opens, that opens things up. And, I'd be really shocked if Harvey is still around at Liverpool at the end of the window now.
Yeah, it does feel, which again is a little bit sad, but it just kind of is what it is somewhat. And I mean, a player, I'm almost thinking, have we gone full 360 from what seems inevitable at the start of the summer and all the reporting, all the stories coming out? I mean, he got sung about before he came on. He certainly got sung about when he came on. And that moment, I was in the COP and 305 was literally, the foundations were shaking. It was absolutely brilliant. he talks afterwards, David, and I mean, the quote couldn't be any, it's not vague. I'm very happy at Liverpool. I will speak to the club, but I want to stay here and fight to win trophies. Now, people could say he's got to speak to the club. There's the get out. But Romano and others reporting that Liverpool are now relying on him. And maybe through all these circumstances, Chiesa staying's right on the table now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I had a conversation yesterday that you still can't rule out that it will go. What's been said at the moment by people you speak to at Liverpool is that no serious offers have been received for him thus far in the window. But obviously that does not rule out the possibility of one coming in before the end of the window. And there are a couple of weeks left, and maybe it'll be a return to Italy and he might find that an attractive option. I mean, if the player says, I'm not going, then he's got a contract and Liverpool will kind of have to keep him around. And I wouldn't be against it either, by the way, because I think there's a better player there than we saw last season. And by all accounts, everyone you speak to, he's a great character, really liked by his teammates, brilliant professional, gets his head down and works and works. He's just really liked by everyone inside Liverpool, and every fan as well loves him. So, everyone was so delighted it was him who scored the goal, and it went off, didn't it? So I really hope he sticks around because, the plan has been to kind of go, if they get Isak in, as I say, not to sign another forward. So, if they go down that route, to have Chiesa around who can play left, he can play right, he can play centre forward, to have him around to play League Cup minutes, to come on late in the Premier League, he'll get some starts as well, by the way. So yeah, I think it would be great. It puts less pressure on Rio Ngamoa. It allows you to have an option to replace Gakpo late in games if you don't want to put Ngamoa in a pressure situation. It means if Conor Bradley's not fit and Frimpong's right back, you've got a replacement for Salah there who can come onto the pitch when you're winning. If Ekitike or Isak are injured, he's your backup centre forward. His versatility and his quality that he's got, I just think it'd be amazing to keep him around, really, for at least just, if you could just get one more season out of him. And if he really wants to stay as well, and he's settled in and he knows the system, he knows, and he's happy there, and he can score goals like he did on Friday night, I would feel a lot more comfortable if Liverpool do get Isak in, if Chiesa sticks around as well, just to give them just one extra option there.
It's funny, sort of the mixed reaction in the chat panel, especially for a cult hero. But like you said, can play literally all the way across the line. You saw he came on as number 9, as Arne Slot talked about, and he scores the goal right in the middle of the sticks. Clearly wants to fight. As you also mentioned, there was reports that Alisson, Maka, all the players get on really well. He's very much part of that sort of group. And also they respect him for fighting adversity and what he's been through. It does almost feel a little bit that, all right, circumstances come into it, but maybe he's got a real chance at changing Arne Slot's mind, because it seemed inevitable, didn't it, that he was departing?
Yeah, I mean, literally from the start of the summer, that was the kind of talk, is that, Italian clubs are interested. Liverpool wouldn't stand in his way because he might want to go and play more football. But if the player's decision is to want to stay put, then it just opens up the chance of him doing so. So, like I say, I would absolutely love to see that. And if nothing that you would term a serious offer comes in, and that's not been the case yet, then it's a real possibility. So we kind of wait and see, really. And if that serious offer comes in, he can still reject it, by the way. So yeah, right. Not one I would like to call in terms of he'll definitely stay at this point, because that offer could come in. It could be one that he thinks actually that's probably better. I will play more there. It'll suit me. But yeah, I'm not as convinced as I was at the start of the window that he will go. So that's good, and I think a positive if you can keep him around.
I like the comments there. Probably a fair assessment. Great to keep him around. However, we can get Rodrigo, bye-bye Chiesa. Such is the reality of football.
Yeah, loyalty, eh?
Yeah, same time as well, the way it works.